But there's one mindset that I feel you have to change if you want to be able to make progress in this goal. And the mindset is an orientation to quality. What is a universal response to me is every time I tell someone, somebody says, hey, what do you do for a living? I say, I teach people how to come up with ideas. And they say, oh, how do you come up with a good idea? Notice the difference in those two statements. I didn't say anything about a good idea, right? But everybody thinks in terms of scarcity and quality. And I would say it's actually the wrong focus. The research is clear. The single greatest determinant of the quality of your ideas is actually the quantity of your ideas. Or as Linus Pauling said, who's the only person in history to win the Nobel Prize as an individual twice, he said, if you want to get a good idea, you need to have a lot of ideas. And so instead of focusing on coming up with better ideas, we need to be focusing on coming up with more. And more is actually a totally different point of focus. And I want to show you something just to wrap up here, because there's something very interesting that happens if you think about your ideas. Hopefully you can see these slides. Your ideas fall on a normal distribution. Okay, so you can see here, I think I'm sharing my slides. Perfect, thank you. So you can see on a normal distribution, if you've got, say, 4,000 ideas, they fall on this normal distribution, which means what? A lot of your ideas are ordinary. Some of them are truly genius, truly breakthrough, and some are just plain goofy, right? And so that's how the nature of almost everything works, right? It falls on a normal bell curve, right? The challenge is most people go, I don't want to waste time with the goofy stuff. And so what they do is they eliminate the goofy. But what they don't realize is that when they eliminate the goofy, they also eliminate the other side of the distribution. And they end up with a bunch of ordinary ideas. And so the question is, which distribution will you choose? If you want to get genius, you've got to be willing to put up with the goofy. The goal is actually volume. It's a volume and variation game. That's the difference. That's the distinguishing mark of the creative individual. It's not that they come up with better ideas, but that they come up with more ideas. And for the purposes of our discussion, they're coming up with more connections. What I wish for you in your career, and I'll close with this quote from Walter Isaacson. Walter Isaacson said, he's written biographies of Benjamin Franklin and Leonardo da Vinci and Albert Einstein, Ada Lovelace, many other incredible innovators. And someone asked him, and he's also the CEO of CNN and the Aspen Institute. He's a very established and regarded leader himself. And someone asked him, what makes these people special? Are they just extraordinarily smart? He says they were smart, but that's not what made them special. Then here's his quote. Smart people are a dime a dozen and often don't amount to much. What counts is being creative and imaginative. That's what distinguished those people. And what I would say is there's no way to smart your way to genius. There's no way to smart your way to a breakthrough. And a lot of the behaviors that we've been taught all of our lives are really smart, are counterintuitive to the kinds of behaviors that are needed to be really creative. And so if you could put the slides back up one more time, please, Ezra. What I want to say is, how can you get started? There's two simple things you can do. One is, feel free to subscribe to my newsletter. By the way, you can just scan this if you want with your phone. But every day I try to write a 2 to 3 minute quick blurb on some counterintuitive practice. Because if you're like me, you're type A, you're smart, you've been efficient and effective all your life. And a lot of the tactics of truly breakthrough thinkers are totally counterintuitive. I write about one of those things every day. The other thing you can do is you can try this free micro lesson, basically. I've got some students at Stanford who built a micro lesson based on some of these ideas. And it's based on the research that suggests that if we just hear something, we're likely to forget it 70% by tomorrow. But if we reinforce it and if we practice it, we're likely to retain much more over time. This is a free lesson that I had them create just for the session. I hope you'll check it out and start to practice some of the critical mindsets of breakthrough thinking. Thanks for having me, and I look forward to hearing about the rest of the conference.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you for that time. It felt like being back in class. And we are going to now usher them into that mind space of creativity, into their career rooms, and have a great rest of your day, because I know it's really early for you. Enjoy. And if you are watching, please look. I mean, Jeremy's, he's told you, check him out, listen to, let's not listen. If you have a link that we can share, I know you gave us a thing to scan, but please send that so we can put that in the notes.
I will.
And speaking of the notes, everyone just click below and you will find the links to your next career room. So, Jeremy, I'm going to say thank you again. Have a great day. And for those of you who are off to the career rooms, the links are directly below us.